So much fun having Koby and Chelsea from Canyon Hills Worship in the house on a Friday morning. They lead worship at Canyon Hills Community Church in Bothell. And right here on Spirit 105.3, every time they sing their song On. And of course, now their new one every season. Welcome, you guys.
So glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
What is going down at your church tonight?
Tonight is our first worship night of 2023. This is something we do as a church quarterly, 4 or 5 times a year, and just great nights of unhurried worship and unhurried prayer and time to do what is just good for the soul.
Sounds like just what the doctor ordered. Who's welcome to come?
Anyone
can come.
Anyone who can come is willing to make we don't even require that it be a pretty noise. They just have to make a joyful noise to the Lord, and you are more than welcome.
That's awesome. What do you hope happens tonight in an atmosphere like that?
Tonight's kind of an interesting night. It's kind of split. One, we're obviously really excited about being a night to worship the Lord. 2, it's also the album release night. We recorded a live worship album with our church back in the fall. And so that's now done, and this is the night that we then get to give it to the church. So this is the only spot it's going to be available between now and April when it's kind of released everywhere. We're really excited about sharing that with the church, but then any opportunity that we get to sing with 1,000 people who love the Lord, there's nothing better.
Agreed. It's like a preview of heaven. You guys, it's been so amazing to watch the revival happening at Asbury University in Kentucky, people worshiping and praying around the clock, and I know it's spreading now to other universities. What does it mean to you all as worship leaders to see a revival of the things that are most important in life?
Yeah. I think it's such a reminder that God is still moving and he's still stirring and he's still working, and to see that happening, I think it's an encouragement as a worship leader to know God is still, he's moving and people are rising up and there's revival, and what a cool thing to see that happening.
Absolutely. What do you all hope for when you're leading worship? What do you want to see God do on the other side of that stage?
I think, our hope is always that people would leave with hope. We say pretty regularly that our goal when it comes to worship is to create space where people can focus their minds on Jesus, be reminded that they're not the point of their life, and then to set their hearts and minds on eternity, to remind them that today is not all there is. There is so much more. And so I think any night we would consider to be a success if people get reminded of those two things through the songs that we sing, through the time we spend in prayer. Yeah, that we would just be reminded what the point of this whole thing is and what it is we're actually living for. There's a lot more to this life than what's happening on a Friday in Bothell.
I feel like it's so easy sometimes to just keep our eyes on our problems. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what worship does is it turns our eyes back on God instead of what we're going through. And that's something that you can take back into your car with you, into your life when you leave worship night, right?
Totally. Yeah. And I think that that element, that is what worship is meant to be. Mm-hmm. I think so often, and I don't know what it's like for a lot of people when you go to church or whatever, but worship and music get confused a lot. And there's a lot of good music, and you can listen to good music in a lot of different places, but worship is meant to be that. It's meant to be a shift of our focus, a paradigm shift of our life, of being reminded, gosh, there's so much more happening than what's happening in our immediate little tunnel visioned experience. Not that that's not real, but it's an opportunity to get our eyes up off of the problem and onto the problem solver.
And I think too, worshiping through your circumstances, you're not forgetting what it is you're facing, but you're not making that your whole aim. That's not your perspective, and yet you can come in and worship through whatever it is you're facing, knowing that you're worshiping the God that has it all in his hands, Because
that's just been a thing I think that we've even talked a little bit, offline over the last couple weeks, is worship's not supposed to necessarily just meet us where we are. It's supposed to call us to where we're supposed to be, right? You don't, it's not like worshiping, like Chelsea just said, it's not that we just ignore what's happening in our lives. It's not burying our head in the sands and pretending everything's okay. It is saying, even though this is what today is, my heart and my mind need to be set on something else. I need to be able to be reminded of the reasons that I have to rejoice and to be glad and to be content and to all those things, right? There's joy even in the midst of hardship.
So good. So do you guys have a favorite song on the new album?
I think
probably different for everyone.
Probably. The official answer to that is every season.
Yes. Okay.
So
I like that.
Yeah, the official answer is that's the song that has been released. That's going to kind of be the single on the front end of the album. And the album itself is called All to Jesus. And that's just kind of been the thread throughout all the songs on the album. But every season, like All to Jesus, he's deserving of our worship and our devotion in the hard seasons and in the good seasons. It's really easy to love the Lord when the blessings of the Lord are palpable. It's a lot harder to take on that Job mentality and go, even though you've given and you've taken away, still I will bless the name of the Lord. And so I think that song as a whole probably encapsulates the heart of the ministry and the heart of the album as a whole. And we're really excited about that.
Me too. Chelsea, how about you? What's your favorite song?
Honestly, I would say every season is one that I definitely cling to on my own. I think just being able to call to mind how God has been faithful, especially in the midst of when you're going through hard things, to be able to go back to, okay, I might not see what you're doing here. I don't get it in this moment, but you have continually been faithful, and I can cling to that and walk forward in that. Every season is one that I regularly just listen to and sing along with, and I'm thankful. Yeah, I'm thankful for it.
Well, we're thankful for you guys. Would you take a moment here and invite the Spirit 1053 family out to your night of worship tonight in Bothell?
Hey, it's Chelsea.
And this is Koby
from Canyon Hills Worship, and we would love for you to come out tonight to our night of worship, 7 p.m. at Canyon Hills
Community Church.
Yes.
Because no one's going to know what that
Canyon
is.
Hills Community Church. Come on out.
What if you can't sing?
You don't have to be a good singer.
You don't have to sing well.
You can just come, sing your heart out. Come join us.